Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Too late now.
Oh.
Because we're live.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Warhammer Meta Chasers. This is your weekly live tournament rundown show. We're going on the biggest and best events happening all over the world. Warhammer 40,000. We have 4 events. 4 events, just the stats. 1 faction attachment breakdown for each of the following: Colorado Cup, California Team Championships, the ATC, and the GT Zaragoza. That place sounds fun. I definitely want to hear about that when we get there, and anybody that might be going to that. My name is Paul Murphy. I'm joined by Dustin Henshaw.
Hello, everyone.
And Adam Camilleri.
G'day.
And also the great folks in the chat. We do this live, like I mentioned, each and every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on YouTube. Come and check us out. Hang out with the folks here. Sometimes it gets quite spicy. Sometimes we got people calling shots. We got people telling us where we're wrong, helping us correct on some of the stuff we talk about, which is awesome. And then participating with the most electrifying segment in Warhammer 40,000 videos and podcasts in the world.
Man, battle lines were drawn last Fuego. Battle freaking lines. I can't. I'm not sure I can look either of these men in the eye after that one.
I'm still in shock at that one. I'm really happy.
It feels a little rigged. It feels rigged.
It was not. Listen, if it was rigged, you helped with it, so I can't really get blamed for that.
we're all somehow culpable for what happened last week, but we'll see if we can it all shakes out in the long term. But as I mentioned, 4 events. This is a 4-event slobber knocker thing. We're just going to be talking about some faction breakdowns, and then of course the pulse of the meta. First one we're going to be talking about is the Colorado Cup. It's in Denver, Colorado, here in the U.S. It's a team event. 205 players competing over 6 rounds. What are we going to see there? And how many players on this team?
So this is the singles event, and then the next 3 are
singles event.
Starting off with singles.
I should just read what's on the slide. As I mentioned, sometimes we get corrected on what's wrong, and it's also by the panel.
Paul just needs a little more faith.
The number of players on these teams is 1.
Yeah,
1 player on each team.
Everyone's. What is it? You paint on their display board me and the picture of a cougar.
Yeah. No. This is a symptom of our last Fuego. How much it damaged the moral fabric of our great show.
Yeah. Question everything.
Adam is still reeling from it, man.
I'm bitter. The Witcher 3 got destroyed, and I'm trying to deal with it.
It just lost. Didn't get destroyed.
Oh, KR, I forgot that was your neck of the woods. Yeah. So look, I know. Look, it sucks when it's that one weekend you got something occupied, but good luck with that. And this is something that you do every year.
Hopefully it goes smoothly, and you don't break any models in the process. So be careful with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Any Heroes Reflection? There are 7 Sisters of Battle, 9 Custodes, 4 Admech, 8 Astra Militarum, 2 Grey Knights, and 8 Imperial Knights. Space Marines are 16 Adeptus Astartes, 7 Dark Angels, 5 Space Wolves, 3 Blood Angels, 4 Black Templar, and 5 Death Watch. There's 10 Chaos Space Marines, 5 T-Suns, 12 Death Guard, 9 World Eaters, 6 Emperor's Children, 12 Demons, and 2 Chaos Knights. Xenos, 16 Necrons, 9 Orcs, 3 Tau, and 13 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 9 Tyranids and 3 Genies to the cult, and then Eldari rounding it off with 6 Drukhari and 4 Eldari. I mean, the faction podium is Necrons and Astartes tied at the top with 16. No real surprise there, but Votan behind them with 13, and then Demons and Death Guard creeping up on the podium again with 12. The Chaos Space Marines right behind them with 10, and then World Eaters and Custodes behind them with 9. Where the hell did World Eaters, Votan, and Death Guard come from?
So, with the changes that we just went through, I'm of the opinion Death Guard is one of the biggest backhanded beneficiaries of the changes. I think overall, the latest balance pass buffed exactly 2 factions and then nerfed a bunch at the top. The 2 factions that were buffed was Tau due to the Twin Lance being added, which is, in my opinion, possibly the best unit in the game right now.
Most undercosted. I'll give you the most undercosted.
Well, that's, in all context. What you get for its points, possibly the best unit in the game. And then, of course, Blood Angels got the Sanguinary Priest to join in the Blade Guard. Now, you can only look at those 2 as the 2 things that directly got better. Undeniably got better. Votan is an interesting one I did not expect, and that might be a new geographical nuance. The Colorado area, in my opinion, is known for its strong Tyranid players, its bug players, more than anything else. And of course, very strong, top of the meta players that play Astartes, Necrons, and those things. But usually I look at them and I'm like, okay, who's cooking on bugs in Denver right now, because that's in my opinion a bit of my Colorado perspective, at least from what we do on this show. But yeah, Demons and Death Guard was not something I knew them for, and Death Guard is definitely on the rise. Demons are just kind of hanging around, even though they had some point adjustments. They're still doing just fine. A lot more incursion coming into the meta at the moment. And then World Eaters kind of just coming out of nowhere. People just thinking, oh, maybe there's less Catan, maybe, and my
I
World
think
Eaters
that's
can go.
the trick with both of these things, with the Votan and Death Guard. Like I played Death Guard, like I played with them this past weekend, still very solid. And if there are less things on the table that because they only have so many units that can lock up and be places, and if there's maybe one or two less units that can be places, they are still back to the efficiency. Like it ain't bad. Very, very solid.
So it's interesting when we look at the breakdown here of the top factions. So Necrons, more often than not, you're hitting what I call a semi skew pretty much all the time. Either it's Wraiths, it's Catan, or it's Warriors. You're going to have one of those which sits you in what I call a semi skew identity to your archetype. But then the next three on our faction podium, Astartes, Votan, and Death Guard, they are pure all-comers at the moment. They are pure, built for everything, can play all factions, all-comers list. CSM is in a similar position. It can be built to skew, but a lot more than not, it is all-comers. And then the rest is kind of weirdly stat-checky around there with the Demons and the Custodes especially, and of course, like I mentioned, the Necrons. And so we have this weird duality of durability and all-comers mashed together in our faction podium, which I find pretty exciting. I think it's a pretty cool faction podium there in Denver. Anything you've seen here, Dusty?
I like the Tyrannus numbers, but like you said, the Colorado is very well known for some good bug players, and I'm actually seeing some very spicy NID lists that are like some of the sexiest singles Tyrannus lists you can see, and I love seeing that. I'm not a fan of the Necrons and the studies constantly being up here, but
single lictors in your area.
Single lictors in your area. Lock your doors.
My goodness.
Is the Chaos Mastery? I'm assuming most of them are like the Huron, because I've played against it a couple times now. It is actually very strong, but it is very one-dimensional.
So I will say just about most armies are taking Huron, but not as many as I thought are playing the Huron, the new detachments.
Really?
There's quite a few creations of Bile. They're still pack bound and all that stuff kicking around the meta. Not exclusively.
So if you're playing Huron and a super unit, like they're playing Huron attaches to other stuff.
That unit is bonkers. That unit is bonkers.
It's so wild, the modality of it, because you just write it in your list and you look at the matchup and let's say you have 10 chosen, you have 10 chosen, 5 chosen, and 5 legionaries. And then you look at the matchup and you're like, I'm playing against Eldari. I'm going to attach the whole shebang's going to go with the legionaries because that's all I need. Yep. Or I'm playing against Custodes. They're all going with the chosen. I'm going to run straight through your army. Or there's something in the middle, like I can attach to the 5, or I can split the thing up and Huron goes here, they go there. It's so much agility with that unit, and it's really changed the landscape for CSM. It's just giving them infinite little options. I did do the detachment breakdown for Votan. Actually, Votan coming in second place on our podium at Necrons. I did that in another one. But the detachment breakdown for Votan is as thus. We have 13 players in representation for this faction, 6 of which are playing Hearthband. We have 3 playing Needguard, which is the index detachment. The Hearthband detachment is 2024's Grotmus detachment, which is based more around the Hearthguard units and the maximizing of their value. 3 Needguard, like I said, the index detachment. 2 of the brand new Mercenary Oathband that came out last month. And 2 are playing Brandfast, which did just get a adjustment in the latest balance pass, allowing their best detachment, which is the 1 CP Disembark, to work in any of the Votan players' phases. You said when it was, you guys remember what it was when it was printed? It was any phase, yours or your opponent's. You could just 1 CP Disembark. It was wild, and so I think they over-nerfed it.
I blocked that out of my memory, Adam. I don't want to hear about that anymore.
They over-nerfed it, and now they put it back to it's very good. So 2 people experimenting with Brandfast there. Anything surprise you about this breakdown, boys?
The Hearthband getting more and more popular, I think, is actually a little surprising until I saw the lists where people are leaning, where the meta is right now. So I think it actually makes sense. I like seeing more Brandfast now because, like you said, it was broken. I think everybody got a little, they might still be a little taken aback from what it used to be. It's like, oh, wait, it's actually good again. It's just not busted.
Yeah. So there's this inherent, I wouldn't say issue, because it's not an issue. There's an inherent fairness that was written into the Votan Codex, where they're, as far as codexes go for this edition, they're very fair.
Yeah.
Like they're very face up, not going to pull many tricks on you. Brand fast, exclusively, in my opinion, is where the jank resides right now for Votan, where they can pull some fast ones and get a little juice and get a little X factor going. Because that's been my issue with Votan, has been like, they deploy their army, and I look at their army, and I know it's going to do only conventional army things. It's not going to do any wild slingshot charges.
And it feels like a solid army. You got a handful of units. You got a big thing, you got a small thing, you got a thing that goes forward. You know, it's like, okay, I can conceptualize that. And then, of course, it still may run over you, but it feels like it's a, you know.
But it's going to come at you exactly how you think it's going to come at you in your head. And it's still very, very good. But yeah, I think there's a little bit of a lack of X factor for them. And that's why I like Brandfast coming back into the game. Mercenary Oathband has similar abilities, but it's all in damage spikes. Like they can just choose to spike damage for a couple of CP and some bits and pieces and some yield points. Whereas Hearthband, in my opinion, is the most consistent performer. And what I'm seeing a start to take off and start to generate a bit is being spearheaded by two gentlemen, a guy named Ronnie Kinney, who went 7-0 at Cherokee Open. And then a gentleman over in the UK, what's his name? Amazing guy. Just became an Art of War coach for Votan as well. It's going to really annoy me, but they've stopped taking Hecaton land fortresses and started playing that MSU style of Votan.
It opens up how many more units do you get when you don't take one of those? You know, it feels like a lot. It feels like a lot.
So many. And that's because they're just kind of unfortunately not getting the job done versus the thickness of the meta. Like the Hecatons were just having to get too close to units because, of course, they're 24-inch range for their max damage output. Greg Chamberlain was the UK gentleman I was speaking of. But you're having to get the Hecatons have to get too close to the Custodes to kill the Custodes, and then you get charged by the Custodes. And the same was for Catan. The same now, I believe, will be true for Blood Angels as well, should they start to really pop off. But yeah, that is the detachment breakdown for Votan, and time to pick some winners, gentlemen.
Before we do that, I want to say what's up to Dorian, man. A long time since we've seen you. Astromax also in the chat. Anybody else, let us know if you're there hanging out. Happy to see y'all.
All right. I got the dice. I got the dice of power. Actually, no, I got an Australian dice with the dice of power. Yeah, that's
the Australian.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. This is the year Australia won the WTC championship dice. Because of that, I want to see the kangaroo. I'm picking exactly the 6. You guys can have 1, 2, whatever. I got a 4. 1, 2, 3. That was Dustin. No, that was Paul.
I knew it was me. I knew it was me all along. It was me.
All right, Paul. What do you want?
This is tough because I do think that people have like the number of the Necrons out there. So I'm going to go Astartes.
Yeah, I think that is an astute pick. Dusty, what would you like, brother?
I have to go with the sexy knit lists. There are, I like some of these lists. They're like very good singles lists.
Do I back the Votan? Yeah, I'm backing the Votan. Let's go. Let's send it. Do it, guys. Manifest a short destiny. If you are watching live, you do get to read my little silly things that I write in the text box for when I do the detachment breakdowns. I will not be reading them out because they benefit the people who watch it live. You can see my silly little
My goodness, we are here for all the listeners, the podcasters, and the audio. This is tuck your socks into your pants. I don't know.
How dare you, Paul? How dare you give away free value like
or
that?
Does it say that?
Look, help us out if you are listening on the aggregators because of that little Easter egg. Please leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to this, and do as instructed. I guess. Thank y'all very much. Next event we're going to be talking about is the California Team Championship. Is this a team event, guys? Help me out. From Garden Grove, California, in the U.S., 200 players and 40 teams of 5 competing over 6 rounds. What are people taking?
In the Imperial Super faction, there are 6 Sisters of Battle, 12 Custodes, 2 Admech, 13 Astra Militarum, 5 Grey Knights, and 5 Imperial Knights. Space Marines was 15 Adepts and Astartes, 2 Dark Angels, 3 Space Wolves, 6 Blood Angels, 3 Black Templar, 1 Death Watch. Chaos, there's 10 Chaos Space Marines, 5 T-Suns, 6 Death Guard, 13 World Leaders, 3 Emperor's Children, 10 Demons, and 5 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 20 Necrons, So aside from Astartes, it's technically the only faction so far that is half
that 50% mark. A team can only take one faction once, and so the maximum you'll see of anything is the 40. So.
Yeah, and even that though, the fact that it's only 20, only half the teams, that means the meta is very healthy. If not everybody's like, yeah, you have to have Necrons, which is a little crazy right now, but hey, I like it. 14.
Not everybody has that many Satan. That's a hard thing to get. Like some of those Satan you can get come in that big old model.
How many Satan actually exist? Like, is there that many Satan in the world right now? Is that, or at least in California?
If I had another 90 minutes, boys, I would have gone through all 4 of our events and just counted off the Catan.
Of course,
I would just see how many did the changes actually cost anyone any of their Catan in their lists. But yeah, sorry, continue.
14 Orcs, 10 Tau, 15 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 3 Tyranids and 4 G-Circle. Oh my god, the G-Circle are outnumbering the Tyranids here. What is going on? It's surprising, yeah. Eldaria, there's 3 Drukhari and 7 Eldari. I mean, the faction podium is technically a total of Astartes at 30, so only 10 teams of the 40 did not take any form of Astartes. The Necrons at 20, Votan and regular, like actual Astartes at 15, Orcs at 14. Then World Eaters, Astral Militarum at 13, then Custodes at 12. Orcs and World Eaters being on this is interesting for team event.
So I will say it's California, and once again, geographical nuance. For some reason, California loves greenskins. They just froth them. They absolutely.
It's the Doug Johnson effect.
Yeah,
he's been War Boss Doug for 2 decades.
I didn't even know what his surname was. He's just War Boss Doug to me. But yeah, this is not funnily enough, Votan making the faction podium again is like it. You can't avoid that. Is a trend now. That's 2 in the same, both in the United States in a singles event and a team event. Votan on the podium in both. So there is a groundswell around Votan in the United States at a minimum, if not worldwide. World Eaters, once again, same story. Custodies are still here despite the points changes. Necrons are still here despite the points changes. Astral Militarum did make this one as well. In a teams event, 0 surprises there. The most flexible gun line in the game now, in my opinion, now that we lost Disco Calgar is officially gone. I think been deleted from the app. I think it's officially we can officially say is gone. So I do think Guard now, in my opinion, is a more flexible gun line for an all-comers environment. Whereas I think if you're playing Ultramarines, Adeptus Astartes, you can get bigger scores probably than Guard into a bunch of matchups, but you will have more reds and bigger greens. Whereas I think Guard can just play into everything.
That's fair.
Outside you're talking about, so the red and green you're talking about is what you feel like your odds are going into that matchup for put out versus. So in team list, if anyone's just joining us or not familiar with that, you do a series of pairings to where the captains pair list against each other, and ideally you're signaling to your captain what they think the attacker is in your safe to fight or not safe to fight or somewhere in between.
I always love to have a little snapshot look at the Astartes super faction and see what the second most taken Astartes sub faction was. Of course, in this case, it is Blood Angels, which are at 6, which is still only about a third of the overall, vanilla Astartes. So I'm surprised that number isn't shifting faster. Personally, I'm of the opinion in teams Blood Angels are better than Ultramarines.
I incredibly very much agree as the solidness of what they can do and the matchups that they can lopside.
So the interesting thing is though, with Orc and World Eaters numbers, maybe people are just thinking they don't need to go there with them because they have it in their Orcs and World Eaters. They have the melee pressure list.
And they ain't got it in either one of those lists, but carry on. And let me hear the theory.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? So if you're looking at it,
yes, I agree. Yeah.
We need an all-comers gun line. There's only 3 good ones in the game, in my opinion, which is Guard, Votan, and Ultramarines. They're the 3 good all-comers gun lines.
You still put Votan in the gun line army?
Oh, and so as in all-comers gun line, as in it's got a bit of everything.
Oh, okay.
It's got your 2 to 4 premium battle tanks, good counter assaults, and good
Iron Jacks and a bunch of shots. That sounds like a gun line to me.
Yeah. That's what I see is that that. Remember the Iron Storm at the start of the edition? That energy, where you had your double or triple Reapex with a Gladiator Lancer Reaper, and then 3 or 4 pocket counter assault units, and then some utility. That's what I call as the all-comers gun line right now. where it's like the guns are what's going to win me the game, and I've got stuff to protect them, and then I got stuff to play the mission. And it's like that triple layer effect. Guard pretty much builds it by default, unless you're playing recon. You are just building that all comers, in my opinion, especially with Bulgrin and ponies being takeable at the moment. There's your counter assault units that are very, very well pointed at the moment. And then Ultramarines has been inherited the Iron Storm ideology all the way through the event, through the edition. But yeah, and past that, like your merely pressure lists, some of them are really don't marry up well into those at the moment. Like Ultramarines have 2+ armor AOC for things like the AP of Orcs and Emperor's Children to handle easily. They still can, but it's a lot harder. Whereas World Eaters handles it a lot better, but then has worse downsides against things like Guard, where they get max value off Dawns and Kazakin, who just shred power armor like you wouldn't believe. Oh, did you have to fight your unit of 20 Berserkers on an objective? 15 Scions, downs the whole freaking thing. Just you're gone.
Strong.
Yeah, real terrifying stuff out there. And so I could see why Blood Angels aren't taking off just yet. But me and Paul are in agreement. Blood Angels, I believe, in teams are way better than Ultramarines. The upside, if you've got a little bit of pairings nuance, the upside is enormous. They bring all the pressure and goodness of Custodes, plus speed, plus like playing way better on denser tables. They don't need to negotiate land raiders through gaps and stuff like that the Custodes need to. Anyway, time to pick some winners, gentlemen.
Oh, you can just keep talking about how cool Blood Angels are.
No, I think we can use that for Blood Angels now.
I picked last. I'm going to pick first here. I'm going with the geographical nuance this entire weekend. I'm picking Orcs.
Ooh, all right,
I'm going for a meme. The meme pick.
So, yeah, we're picking highest battle point finisher here
correct.
at a team event, not necessarily the winner of the event, but the highest battle point finisher.
So Paul went first. So Dustin, you're in the middle again, and then Paul's last.
I'll go with Stardies.
Paul?
Stardies is good. I'm gonna go. God, this is tough. I'll go Necrons.
He's doing it.
Beautiful. He's doing it.
Teams they can get the matchup.
Yeah, that's
especially in, like with all the teams there. Like, there's definitely gonna be some folks in the playing on the bottom half of the tables with the stout Necron list.
yeah. And people just be like, yeah, I can't be bothered with that. All right, what's next?
Next, we're going to be talking about is the 8TC. This is in Cleveland, Tennessee. This is not too far. It's about an hour and a half north right here. 176 players and 22 teams of 8 playing over 5 rounds. What are we going to see there? This is put on by some great folks, by the way.
In the Imperial Survival, there are 8 systems of battle. Can we stop for a second? There's a lot of systems of battle that are showing up this weekend. I love that. They're starting to show up again. 12 Custodes, 6 Admech, 50 National Militarymen, 2 Imperial Knights. Ugh. Space Marines, there's 11 Adeptus Astartes, 4 Dark Angels, 2 Space Wolves, and 2 Blood Angels. Chaos, there's 9 Chaos Space Marines, 8 T-Suns, 6 Death Guard, 8 World Eaters, 3 Emperor's Children, 10 Demons, and 3 Chaos Knights. Xenos, there's 17 Necrons, 5 Orcs, 14 Tau, and 8 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 4 Tyranids and 4 Gs to their cult. These are crazy numbers for the force of the Hive Mind. Eldari, there's 9 Drakari and 6 Eldari. Meaning the faction podium is technically total of Astartes at 19, but Necrons topping off with 17. Then Asher Militarum behind them with 15. Tau making the top cut with 14. And then Custodes with 12 and a regular Astartes with 11.
So Tau is the one I'm very surprised this is the first time we're seeing them make the fashion podium. I think Tau's one of the best. I think Tau's one of the best armies in the game right now.
What?
They have.
You think the Twin Lance made that big a difference?
I think
they were doing well before the Twin Lance.
True.
Correct. But they were doing well before the Twin Lance, and the nerfs only helped them. That happened to the top echelon of the game, and then I think they copped no significant changes in and of themselves. Hell, stealth suits went down 10 points. Whatever. But I think Tau is one of the best teams armies in the game at the moment because they're playing.
Right, teams are all right. But
yeah, sorry. They're playing with a level. They're playing with a level of dynamics, either in Montcar or Redcard. I don't think Callion is where it's at right now. But Montcar and Retaliation card trait are both absolute superstars in teams at the moment, with just a little bit of table protection and a little bit of matchup protection. I think they're one of the biggest upside teams factions in the game, which is why I'm surprised we're seeing them on the podium for the first time in this one.
Maybe people wanted the Twin Lance.
I mean, if you could get it, that thing sold out instantly.
Yeah,
for good reason. It's the best looking
the amount of
commanders.
commander conversions I've seen submitted for approvals the tournaments I'm going to lately is wild.
Yeah,
the TO just had to go. No, guys, you can't use commanders for these things. It's just no.
It's so good. Ashton Militarian with another strong showing. This one is an interesting event. So usually with 8-player teams, we see the meta more spread. But this is the most condensed meta we're seeing out of all 4 events that we're covering, three of which are teams events. There are no Grey Knights, like zero, zilch. No Grey Knights. 176 players, 22 opportunities to take Grey Knights in 8-player teams, and not once were they taken.
That is interesting. Because we've seen them being played recently. I mean, like, especially in team events.
Absolutely. In team events is the place where I think they hold kind of the most value. Unfortunately, I think in singles events, they have a massive issue with getting rock, paper, scissors. They cannot deal with Catan. They can deal with Custodes even less of the time. And they're just getting outclassed in everything that they do by various different Astartes.
There's a bunch of giant chickens in the meta. That's why. Sorry, that was a stutter scrub reference.
That too.
I heard last week's episode.
Yeah, that too.
That was a direct reference to anybody who listens to that. They know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Horrible Demons matchup, horrible Catan and Custodes matchup. Sorry, Necrons and Custodes matchup. Like they just cannot handle the top of the meta, but they can ruffle, stomp, punching down, which is why I thought in 8-player teams you'd be more often likely to see them. And bang, zero. Like I said, 22 opportunities.
They have to be so protected, and if they don't get the right matchup, they just get ruffle stomped, right? So
yeah,
they need they're pairing princesses, and you don't want too many of those in your list. And I think there's better ones that are. Like Tau is more of a pairing princess in terms of like they need a good matchup too, but they have a less of a downside that they get better in one matchup.
So here's the difference, right? If you pairings, I love this term, pairings princess the Grey Knights, sure, you get like a 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
If you pairings princess the Tau, 20.
Yeah, exactly.
20.
Exactly.
They just like 2 turns tabled, game's over. Back, we're out to get drinks. Let's hit the bar.
See, Astromite's got the reference.
The other one is where there is no Death Watch and there's no Templars at this one, which isn't super surprising, but it's still something of note within the Astartes super faction. Outside that, really good, robust numbers in Chaos, like all like middle strength numbers for Demons, World Eaters, Thousand Suns, and Chaos Space Marines. Thousand Suns is, I think, in my opinion, a faction to watch, especially in teams, especially in 8-player teams. I think they offer an enormous amount of upside, like not quite as much as Tau. Not quite as much as Tau, but still, like, they have a damage ceiling that is
what do you consider
ferocious.
their builders right now, then? What do you consider the Thousand Sun build to be for teams?
It's literally whether you think that your pairings can line you up for a Magnus build active that works. Because if you want to play into Necrons, you must have Magnus, in my opinion. Magnus is the only thing that gives you a one-shot kill Catan option. And Grand Coven, of course, sweeps him up with all the rerolls and he goes nuts. Outside that, I think it's Rubrique Phalanx pretty much all the way. Yep. I think double or triple Scarab Occult. I'm personally on the board of 2x10 Scarab Occult units, just offer you a robustness that lets you stick around for longer in order to spike the damage consistently. Because my issue is if you play Grand Coven and you just have that MSU trading his 5 Rubrics with a character, 5 Rubrics character, 5 Rubrics character, and like Magnus needs to bring it home. If you don't pair well and Magnus isn't gonna bring it home, you're stuck playing a bad Eldari list, like an overcosted Eldari list.
That's a good reference.
You've got super spike damage on 5 models in a dream. So it's just whether you think you can pair for Magnus to be good. If you can't, I think the default Rubrique Phalanx, and you just have a much robust floor that you can't really get bodied. Okay. Yeah, so that's my personal take. I did do the Necrons detachment breakdown for this one because, of course, Necrons was like first or second place in every single thing, and we needed to look and see if anything had substantially changed post. This is the first weekend we have all the changes of the slate in. Did anything change?
The answer is
nothing changed.
Yeah, pretty same. Pretty much the same. Well, sorry, detachment breakdown somewhat similar.
It is, which is surprising to me, really surprising. So of the, how many do we have? 17? 17 Necrons in attendance. 7 are playing Star Shatter Arsenal. 4 are playing Awakened Dynasty. 2 are playing Pantheon of Woe. 2 are playing Obeisance Phalanx. And we have singles for Canoptic Court and Hypercrypt Legion.
So Pantheon of Woe definitely dropped. It definitely dropped.
Yes. I think
They should have.
Teams is the only place you can take Pantheon of Woe now, I believe.
I just don't.
I don't believe in it. I kind of never did, to be honest.
Neither did I. We've talked about that every week. I think we've always said that we're not really. And now they're the most expensive Satans. It's kind of like you really need them there.
I know a lot of Necron players, a lot of very good Necron players, and what I have found Necron players have said this edition more than many others is how bored they get. And so when something like Pantheon of Woe comes along, they're just going to be like, hell yeah, this is different. I'm going to put 20 games on this, which you like, absolutely fair enough, mate.
You know what? I am very sad that nobody is even trying Curse Legion. Come on. I love that detachment.
I played against it on the weekend with my Knights, and I was very impressed.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
It has a really good game, like some really cool tricks and builds.
6 destroyers with the Lord did 18 damage through 4-up invul and 6-up feel no pain to my Lancer, and I was like, I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah, it's actually wild. They are Necron players. If you're bored, bring up the destroyers, guys. It's time. It's time. They can do it. There's play. Believe me.
I looked at plenty of these lists, by the way, and I'm sure people will be saying, oh, yeah, Star Shadow does nothing for Catan. You probably don't take Catan in your Star Shadow anymore. No, so many of these Star Shadow lists have like double Catan.
At least Nightbringer.
Yeah, minimum Nightbringer at all times. So this is going to sound wild. This is going to sound real wild.
Oh, okay.
But
hot take from Adam. Everybody buckle in.
I was playing 8-player teams. I would take the Deceiver over the Nightbringer. In teams, if it's 6 or more players,
my mic didn't cut out. I'm just in shock right now.
I would take the Deceiver over the Nightbringer. Rapid Ingress, 40 mil base, Super Demon Prince just sounds like a level of dumb. I would want to force.
You're not even going to start them on the table.
Oh well, you can. You totally can. But forcing your opponent to screen the freaking Deceiver. Seems like hilariously tragic nonsense to make them do.
That's a weird take. And if that's the only reason you're taking him over Nightbringer, you're crazy.
Well, so I play on WTC tables where the Nightbringer gets a lot less. Like if you are taking the Nightbringer, you want some table selection. Just by having the Nightbringer, you want a little bit of I don't want to play on the heavy or the super L's, or there's a bunch of maps that just get a little bit worse if you try to activate. Is that bad? He's not that bad, no. But I'm assuming if you are taking him, it's Star Shadow. You're taking the -1 damage Silent King. You're kind of priced into that almost always in teams.
Yeah.
And then if you're taking 1 Catan, like I said, most of them are still taking 2. And so all of a sudden you got 2 Catan Silent King. You do want some table choice because it's going to get awkward. Because you have to jump, like just for the Silent King to shoot with his Minears on some tables, he needs to negotiate 3 large L's to get to a firing solution with his Minears. And sure, he can go through one wall, but he doesn't reach the next one. And so he's like, hop, 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 turn 3. Yay, I shot my Silent King. That's not a great place to be, especially when your Nightbringer is like having to hoop around everything as well. And this is maybe exclusively a WTC terrain thing, which I'm more than happy to put on Necron players because stuff them. But yeah, the Deceiver for me, just having that much power on a 40 mil base, my God, it's good.
It definitely doesn't match the model. It does not match.
Yeah. Here's a take you may agree with. I think Awakened Dynasty is way better than Star Shadow.
No, that I agree with. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. But I also accept that just like I played about 60 games of Space Marines Gladius and have not played Space Marines again this edition, I accept that every Necron player has played 200 games of Awakened Dynasty and are just like freaking done with it. Even though it could be the best attachment in the freaking game by a country mile, and Necron players will still be like, I'm still hungover, man. I'm still not going back.
No, I get it. I definitely get it. We all have those attachments sometimes, right? We all felt that pain.
Invasion fleet,
yeah. Like it's the
you
best.
You play Synaptic Nexus just to feel alive.
I do. Legitimately, I do.
If you haven't noticed, Paul has just spontaneously combusted. About 10 minutes ago, he just combusted. Yeah, live on camera.
It's gone.
He just exploded.
If you're not here, you didn't see it. So
we'll see if he reforms himself like Terminator 2.
Yeah, in the meantime,
all right.
there we go.
How generous are we going to be with Paul? Is he gonna get Blood Angels? There are
with the amount that he talked about and wanted to get talked about. I think he's. Well, wait, how many Blood Angels?
There's only 2.
Ooh.
I say we pick ours first. Well, it's actually due. He's actually due to go last. So we pick ours first, and then we'll see. Because
Sure.
Yeah, I'm assuming one of us is picking Astartes. In which case, you are going first, sir.
In which case, I'm going first, and this is a team event, and they've got a lot of them there. I feel dirty picking them now, though. But at the same time,
hey, you didn't spontaneously combust.
I didn't spontaneously combust. No, you know what? I'm going to be a little nicer, and I think I want to try something different because I already picked Astartes once. I'm going to do Astra Militarum.
You picked my one. I'm going to go Tau. I'm picking the Tau. And we're leaving Astartes to Paul then.
Yeah, that's we'll do that. You're welcome, Paul. If you
we are benevolent hosts.
We are benevolent hosts.
All right, into our next event. This is the GT Zaragoza from Zaragoza, Spain. 132 players in 22 teams of 6 over 5 rounds. So you won't see more than 22 of any one individual faction. In fact, if anything crosses the 11 line, you know these guys in Spain think it is the bee's knees. Take it away, Dusty.
All right, the Imperial Super Faction. There are 2 Sisters of Battle, 8 Custodes, 4 Admech, 10 Astra Militarum, 2 Grey Knights. Hey, Grey Knights!
Yay!
4 Imperial Knights. Space Marines, there's 5 of them Astartes, 2 Dark Angels, 1 Space Wolf, 6 Blood Angels, and 2 Death Watch. Chaos, there's 4 Chaos Space Marines, 2 T-Suns, 11 Death Guard. Again, Death Guard is coming out in force. 4 World Eaters, 6 Emperor's Children, 6 Demons, and 1 Chaos Knight. Xenos, there's 16 Necrons. No real surprise there. 6 Orcs, 6 Tau, 4 Votan. Hive Mind, there's 6 Tyranids and 2 Genies to their cult. And then Eldari, there's 5 Drukhari and 6 Eldari. Meaning the faction podium is total Astartes technically, but is tied with Necrons at 16. That's crazy. Then Death Guard at 11. Astra Militarum at 10, Custodes at 8. Death Guard taking second spot at this team event. But not breaking the 50%, hitting the 50%.
Hitting the 50%. That is 100% a geographical nuance. I will let you guys know Paul has reformed out of the liquid metal upon which he is built, and we'll be rejoining the show as soon as Dustin can get him back in.
Nobody can hear you yet, Paul. You're gonna have to report. But nobody's hearing your zingers. All these great zingers are you're wasting.
Yeah, he's giving us absolute hell. But yeah, Death Guard is a geographical nuance of
there you go. Now you're back.
The Iberian Peninsula and to an extent France as well. So from like France to the left of continental Europe is very much Death Guard home turf at this point. And I do love that. Yep.
No, so y'all were talking foolishness, so I'd take a little break. Hopefully, y'all put Blood Angels for me in that last.
We gave you Astartes.
We gifted you.
We gifted you Astartes because there's only 2.
Thank you.
So total Astartes tied with Necrons at 16. So only 6 teams did not take one or both of those. But then, Death Guard, Astra Militarum, no surprise there, and Custodes, no surprise there. But Death Guard, once again, did Death Guard make the podium on all of our events this weekend?
No, it didn't make the last one.
Nah, they didn't make ATC, but they were in there for Colorado and California. So Death Guard unavoidably on the rise, like undeniably even, and not just in the United States, also
you can take like a 2 of everything Death Guard list. 2 Demon Princes, 2 units of Plague Marines, 2 of these characters you fight first, 2 crits on 5s characters, 2 heavy blight launchers or whatever, and
2, and then
the second level of Highlander, Svylander,
2 Rodigus,
Svylander,
Twinlander,
no, it's Svylander. Come on, that's actually 2.
It is pretty good.
It is.
That's
it's
pretty
2-hander.
good. That's clever. That's clever.
It's a sword.
The punnage. I wasn't ready. I only just caught up. But this is, like I said, Heartland Europe, WTC goodness. It is going to be a pretty spicy breakdown. Some very good middle strength. So like looking for stuff that got more than a quarter, close to a third in representation. So the 6 and 7 numbers. So we got, sorry, if you missed it, Paul, Blood Angels was the most.
6, 7?
No, cease. Kick him back off. Combust him again. Eject. Get him out of here.
Where's the eject button? Where's the eject button?
But so Blood Angels, Paul, is the most taken of the Astartes sub-factions here, overtaking for the first time in a super long time. Has any sub-faction been more taken than Vanilla Astartes, Codex compliant? So happening here first in Europe. We've got Empress Children and Demons, both with 6 representation. Also Orcs and Tau, Tyranids and Eldari. So like that middle band, like that taken about, somewhere between a quarter and a third of the time, is very robust at this event. And that is a very strong indication of, sure, what are we taking as our fifth and sixth picks in our 6-player teams? Where are we looking for our spice, our matrix, messy upper factions, the things that make things awkward and difficult for our opponents? Because of course everyone's going to be planning for an Astartes solution, a Necron solution. Everyone's going to have reps into Custodes and Guard, outside of Recon Guard, which I do believe right now is the best army in the game if you can stomach it and if you have a player that can play it to a clock. I do think Recon Guard is the best army in the game. Same thing I said about Awakened Dynasty. There are so few players who have the stomach to do that. Like I said,
you don't actually need as much of a clock because you don't need to do that much with that list.
Don't. If you shoot your las guns into the Rhino, into the stop, cease. Like, as the opponent, like I've played against Recon Guard exactly twice ever, and I've seen enough. I know everything I need to know. And I told my opponent, like, sure, do your charge, and then just add your pile, your pile in move to the charge, dude. I don't want you to clock out if you can help it. But like technically to the terms of the game, you have every ability to tell your opponent to roll it. You got to pile in. You got to consolidate. You got to, are you declaring your lasgun shots? You can't see if you kill me or I have 1 wound left, and and then start rolling lasgun shots and roll 5 of them. Nah, roll all of them, brother. You don't get to pick and choose, because you have to fast dice, so you have to roll all the lasguns at the same time. So it is a very interesting conundrum to run that one. But either way, we're in the weeds. So the Death Guard detachment breakdown for this one is 6 Virulent Vectorum of the 11 in representation, 6 Virulent Vectorum, 2 Mortarian's Hammer, and then singles for Taliban Summoners, Shamble Rot Vectorum, and Flyblown Host. So that is actually like more detachments than I would have expected. I usually expect to see like just Virulent Vectorum. And a 1 or 2 Mortarian's Hammer. A Mortarian's Hammer is still real good. Really good, guys. It's not as good all comers as Virulent Vectorum is, which just has like even performance against pretty much the entire meta. But if you have a bit of pairings nuance, I think Mortarian's Hammer has bigger upside than Vectorum. But like I said, it has some big losses as well that are in the meta out there. Whereas Vectorum can just scrap into freaking anything. Yeah. Are you guys on board with the French archetype, which is the double? Sorry, actually, I shouldn't say it's the French archetype. I'm not 100% sure if it was inspired by the French, but the double Plague Marine units overtaking double or triple Death Shroud. You go double Plague Marines. Maybe
I think you have to have 2. I shouldn't say half, but very big proponent of the 2 Plague Marine units with two characters of your choice, backing them up. With all the bells and not a bolter between them.
I will say I looked at the majority of these. Actually, I opened up every single one of these lists to see if there's many commonalities. Not as many Mortarians as I thought. I think that is correct. I think in singles, Mortarian is a lot better than he is in teams.
Especially in Virulent Vectorum, the Demon Prince with the 5+ Feel No Pain. He's a mini. He's a mini Mortarion.
Because you're exactly right. You chuck him on the middle. You line up him with something if you can, and you just be like, yo, deal with it. Whereas in singles, when you're much more likely to play into the Catan, you're much more likely to play into the things where you need the big whack or stopper that is Mortarian, because unfortunately the only thing that will probably almost all the time go in and one shot that Demon Prince is the Nightbringer. He will go in there and probably cut that dude in half. He will not do that to Morty. Morty will survive the Nightbringer's attacks pretty much every time, unless he's half dead, but cops 2 Menhirs to the teeth before you send the Nightbringer in. And then Mortarian's giving the reactive move and all those little activations. But in teams, I think it's correct to not take him. I think it opens up your scrapping potential, and then you just don't play the Necrons. But in saying that, I have watched some games with Plague Marines where the Plague Marines shoot a Catan dead, and then charge and almost kill another one.
Lethal hits on 5s is like, what was your toughness? Who cares?
Yeah, rerolls to wound, rerolls to hit and to wound in shooting with rerolling blast shots with, them being a toughness 10 instead of 11. It's a lot, man. Like, it is a lot. Those guys really pop off. So really excited to see how they do down here. And time to pick winners on our last event, boys. Paul, you weren't here, so you can pick first.
Blood Angels.
Good man. Good man. I was about to tell Dustin to eject you again.
I've earned it. I'm all full of beans.
Dustin, what would you like?
Oh, this is a harder one because I don't want to just do the same things. I want to do something spicy.
I will tell you, after looking at a lot of these lists, I'm always very interested in keeping my finger on the pulse in Spain. I don't believe Necrons are a good pick here.
I was not planning on picking them, but thank you for the info. But if you pick Necrons,
bunch of Eldari.
Yeah, it's good numbers of Eldari, good numbers of Nids, Orcs, Tau, good numbers, Emperor's Children, Demons, good numbers. There is a lot of strong picks here.
I'm going to go Death Guard. Let's see what the Death Guard have. Yeah, they know something that I don't. I want to see it.
Yep, love it. I'm going to go a little bit spicy, not spicy, and pick Custodes.
That's not that spicy.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. But all right, so that is the part that concludes the Warhammer 40,000 for this episode.
There was a lot. That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Well, look, if you've been listening this far, please hit the like, share, and subscribe. Also, consider this is the part where we're going to plug ourselves. This is where also we plug a sponsor if there was one, but we're our sponsor. Check us out on Patreon. Tier 2 and above on Patreon, even though every tier over there is amazing. Tier 2 and above get you access to a second show that we do most weeks where we look back at our predictions. We look back at the top 10s. We look back at the army lists that did really well. And it helps fuel future conversations. So if you really want to get that extra view into the meta, consider doing that. One awesome way to support the show is it does take a lot of work to put this thing together. The next segment we're going to do, sometimes this has very little to do with the Warhammer 40,000. This is a spot we call the Fuego Rapido, where we give ourselves a topic, and then we kind of chat about it. Sometimes on the clock, sometimes fiercely debated. Always fun. And this week is no different as we go into that segment. What's it going to be this week?
This week, we are just going to do Classic Fuego. Old school Classic Fuego. Switch it up.
Been a while.
Been a while.
Is this to give us a break from like doing each other harm?
Yeah, I needed last week. I needed to make sure that we didn't completely ruin our friendship.
An emotional buffer.
This is the emotional buffer until next week when we continue it again. All right. So enjoy your emotional buffer, and I hope these questions do not cause a further rift.
If he's going to be on a clock, we're going to have 2 minutes.
Of course, we have the 2 minutes for each one.
Okay.
All right, old school Fuego. Let's go. First one: hardest 40K model to transport safely.
Transport
Hierophant.
safely. The Fate Weaver. I guess Hierophant true counts, but
Hierophant was definitely on my list.
So the thing, actually, do you know what? I will take back the Hierophant and I will raise myself with the what's the Trogdor?
What's that?
The bird.
Oh,
for Nids.
I mean, if we're going
Heritage,
you got to go Manta. Manta has an army inside it. You know, it's like you have to.
That's fair. But I think I have felt the Manta, and it's quite robust. I mean, you'll break guns off it, and like, but the actual structure is quite robust. The thing that I've seen with the Hierophant is people have just got the legs on pins and they just take them out.
Yeah,
and
you
just
have to
stack the guy.
But the spirit of this has to be clearly plastic, like the normal Warhammer. Like
sure, okay, let's go plastic then. If we're going pure plastic, Incarn. That thing is held together by hopes and dreams.
With the sword up as well. Yeah, that's rough. So I have owned AdMech models. And they
What are that sniper, like the new sniper one on the long legs? That thing's got to be it's got
to be pretty close. It has to be big enough to not fit well in a case.
Yeah,
you know, because like you can bubble around.
I think Fate Weaver takes it. 2 heads, 2 wings.
Fate Weaver's up there. Yeah, the staff. Yeah.
Ooh. Trying to look around at some of these.
He's pretty chonky though. He's like thick, right?
I'm gonna put one out there.
Okay.
The Calidus Assassin. Spindly arms pointing straight out, the freaking hair, and the smallest little freaking ankles.
That's a good call. Infantry model, that's probably the hardest.
I have seen firsthand a ruin of plastic ruin fall on a Calidus, and it exploded. In 30 different pieces.
Yeah. So all right. So infantry model, we got Calidus.
Yep.
And big model, I guess we're going with Fate Weaver, and then honorable mention to the Incarn.
All right. We'll go with that then. Just in time. Next up, the most obnoxious 40K model design.
Obnoxious.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Model design.
They've been pretty. Once again, we're going to exclude 40K. Forge World, because my God, I can.
Yeah.
There is
Forge World does not count.
There's one Custodes, like a shield captain, that looks kind of like a refrigerator.
Yes. Yeah. The stunty boy. Yeah.
He just looks a little different than the rest, which is not bad, right? But it's like, I guess it's easy. You pick him out easy.
I have my answer, so I'll wait for Adam because I didn't even think about mine when I read this.
You go for it, mate.
The toxic green.
The toxic 100
is so obnoxious. Like
you win. There's no arguing with that.
You can't play it. You just
how much? What's the wingspan on it? Like, have you measured it from tip to tip?
Remind me before the next show, and I will measure it tip to tip because it is the model itself. Like the tentacles are wider and longer. It's obnoxious.
There was a Tyranid model we didn't mention in the last question too. The one that's like, what is it? I forget what the name of it is. The one that like kind of hangs out, but it's got the tentacles that all just go like one direction.
That's the toxic green.
Is that the one? I was thinking the one that gives the -1 to hit or something.
Oh, Venom Throws. Or do you mean the Malanthrope? Because that's the Forge World, but the Venom Thropes are the common one.
No, I think it's the Venis.
Yeah, the Venom Thrope.
Yeah.
With like the tentacles extending like 2.5 inches in front of the base.
Yeah,
those were not the regular models though. Those were not the regular ones. The regular ones they're actually like spindly, pretty close to the body now, so they're not as obnoxious anymore. Okay. They used to be.
Yeah. Everyone has to play them backwards. You have to play them backwards at all times, and always
just trying to hug. Everybody wants a hug. Yeah. It's like.
Well, yeah, the Toxic Green's the big version of that. Funnily enough, we're talking about Nins a lot here. So
right.
I do not think anything can beat the Toxic Green though. Like that is the dumbest.
That is the dumbest design. Like obnoxious is the perfect word for it. So, all right, next up. Favorite video game boss fight ever?
Oh, it's got to be something on a Mega Man. It's got to be.
Ooh, I like that. See, we're gaining our friendship back now. This is good.
So I have an answer, but it was a time and place thing, and my journey as a video game player was the first time you fight against Apocalypse in Resident Evil 2, where you cannot win. You cannot win. And I did not know that was a mechanic in games.
Yeah.
I respawned on that dude, used all my consumables, herbed, like 20 or 30 times trying to figure out all the mechanics. And then I read like in a magazine, like a week later, you cannot win that fight. And I was like, I never considered to me that I couldn't win a fight in a video game. Mm-hmm. And so for me, that was like, on reflection, like I am surprised I did like 20 reps into it, trying to crack it. Kind of shows you a bit of my hard-headedness. But yeah, that was one of the ones that came to mind.
So Mother Brain, the first time you beat Mother Brain in Metroid, and then Dr. Light, Mega Man, and then Sephiroth, Final Fantasy 7. Those are all like very, very top tier boss fights.
Sephiroth was up there for me too. Just because it was such a culmination of one of my most enjoyable video game experiences.
That was at the end. That was disc 2. You already been through a whole disc.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, you like by default have like 100 played hours if you're fighting Sephiroth, and that's if you didn't go chasing that golden chocobo, which I did.
Of course you did. Why wouldn't you?
My first playthrough got everything but the blue huge materia because I was too freaked out because the blue huge materia I learned later was in the rocket ship, and you had to get out before the rocket ship exploded. And if you just hung out a little bit longer, you can get the huge materia. But I was like, "Oh, we're about to blow up! Get out of here!"
What's your answer, Dustin?
The last boss of Snake Eater, Metal Gear 3. It felt epic. I just loved it. When I think of my favorite boss fight, like I remember, I was frustrated because it was hard as shit, but it was so epic. I loved it. Just one of those great culminations of the game at the end. Anime you would recommend to everyone?
Oh, that's hard because all my favorite ones are niche and horrific.
to everyone is Akira.
Berserk, aren't you?
I think
Akira is
has
a
to
great
be-
shout.
Akira. That's the one I normally go to, or if I don't know if they're into anime, I think one of the safest ones that because anime can go like off.
I mean, it is rated R, so that does put a little bit
Of course,
limiter on there.
That's what I mean when I'm saying like if we don't know that they like anime in particular, the Street Fighter animated movie, the Street Fighter 2 animated movie
my God,
is
so good.
what got so many of my friends that had never seen anime before into anime.
So I know Avatar: The Last Airbender does not qualify as anime per se, but
Yeah.
gotta be on the list, right? You know. So.
Yep.
I'd recommend Street Fighter, the Street Fighter. But if it's the series you're talking about, and I will always recommend this to anybody that likes anime or D&D or fantasy or anything like that, but Lotus Wars.
Yeah, Record of Lotus. That was actually going to suggest Record of Lotus War.
Yeah,
awesome.
Absolutely fantastic.
Robotech is like
Robotech. Yep.
Every single, or Macross if we want to go anime. Macross.
Very much enjoyed Helsing. I guess would be a good one. Just vampires killing zombies.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I like because my favorite anime is Berserk, but Berserk is not for everyone.
That's what I was. What we said, like some of them you can't. Like, yeah, Berserk is the first one that came to mind because absolutely phenomenal. But wow, does it
so messed up, so messed up, dude.
So messed up.
It's so good, but my God, you just
you cannot watch that until you're at least 19 years of age minimum. Like it will mess with your head.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you're 30, it does.
What else? What else is really good? See, I would say Attack on Titan, but Attack on Titan with all the filler and like melodrama really pissed me off.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't
really,
get into
really
it.
good.
So that's I don't think I'd recommend it for first time anime kind of thing.
Sometimes you got to be deep. You got to be already into the pacing of the story.
Yeah.
Low DOS KR here. I'll type it in chat for you.
Lotus
two different ones.
Fantastic.
Love Lotus Wars.
See, Neon Genesis is one I'd recommend as well, but that also will mess you up. It's more about mental health than it is and trauma than it is about the giant mechs and aliens. So yeah.
Got a Full Metal Alchemist suggestion in the chat.
Brotherhood, yes.
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
Really good. Really good.
So for Record of Lotus Wars, there's two of them, Chronicles of the Heroic Knight and just the original Record of Lotus Wars. The original one is more adult, better. Chronicle kind of spins off at a certain point. And it's still good, but yeah, the original.
What's the best?
There's some definitely stolen scenes from Lord of the Rings in there. They go through the
100%.
What would be the Gundam series you guys would recommend if there was one?
Gundam.
I find I fall in and out of love with Gundam. Like
I've heard really good things about Seed, and I haven't watched it yet. I really should watch Seed.
Gundam. I forget it's like it has a number after it. It's like Gundam. 92 or something like that or whatever is. I consider that pretty good.
I think we did this one.
Yep, definitely. All right, the last one, and I think we lost Paul for it. You must live in one movie universe forever. Which one?
Oh, there's a couple. I mean, Pokemon is probably the one as a child I wanted the most.
I would like if you were talking like my childhood, Pokemon is easy for sure.
Yeah, Pokemon's easy mode.
I mean, like we're so close to it now with Pokemon Go, right?
I know.
We're just little Pokemon running around. But
all my favorite ones are terrifying, so you
got to be careful with it because nobody's going to pick Warhammer for real, right? Like that.
No one's going to pick Warhammer. Hell, I'm not even going to pick Dragon Ball Z, even though there's talking animals and like cars that fit in capsules. Like it's still like, cool, Goku's here. Run, run. Everything's going to explode, or he's going to suck your soul into the spirit bomb, and it's never gonna kill the bad guy. Not once did a freaking spirit bomb kill a bad guy. Not once, yeah. So stupid. Worst technique of all time.
Terrible.
What did I miss? Is that what? Are you living in the Dragon Ball Z universe?
So the question is, you must live in one movie universe forever. Which one?
Yeah. Oh, that's tough.
And it's definitely not going to be like any of the Marvel or DC universes because all these big baddies, like I'd have no interest.
No, that was just like I don't want to be snapped. I don't want to. I don't want to be walking down the street and have
accidentally have a building fall on your head because two super beings are fighting there. Like, well, that sucks.
But if you were in that universe, it'd be possible that you could be one of the heroes.
If you're one of them, cool. But There's no caveat there, so you might not be.
Yeah,
trying
I'm
to think
assuming
of a movie.
it's just me in that universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like just you in that
unenhanced.
universe.
Yeah. I ain't no Saiyan or Super Ava pilot or yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna
Jurassic
say
Park.
I'm gonna
Ooh.
say Captain Harlock's universe because I wanted to get that anime in that I forgot to mention last time.
Nice.
Jurassic Park is, I mean, although, how many times are they going to let loose the dinosaurs on the planet?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the whole dinosaur like actually being around eating people thing, but
yeah, Lord of the Rings is a good shout. Lord of the Rings is a very
it's a good one, but living there would be rough.
It depends if I got to pick which age of Lord of the Rings I get to live there, because it ain't the first one. Not the first age. If I get to pick, which age, potentially Lord of the Rings.
Okay, sure. You know what? I know what I do. Star Trek, because
nobody wants to get replicators.
Just replicate whatever you want, man. What do you want? Replicate. Done. Got it.
Yeah,
that's a good.
I don't hate that. See, it wouldn't be Star Wars. Star Wars doesn't seem that.
No, not Star Wars.
It's not Star Wars.
No,
yeah.
Star Trek.
There's nothing shiny about Star Wars. It's like a whole universe centered around having the surname Skywalker. I don't have my surname's Camilleri. It looks like I don't mean anything in that universe.
True. You could be Solo.
It could be Palpatine.
Hey, somehow you'd make it back.
You would. We believe in you.
Somehow.
Power of the Force.
Oh, well, that is our show this week, and nice to return to some classics here, and thanks for everybody shouting out in the chat and playing along with us. If you made it this far and you hadn't already hit that button, hit a bell. That way you know we're going to come back into this. I did say 9 p.m. Eastern time. We do it live. Come back and hang out with us. Really appreciate that. Or after the fact, catch us on YouTube or any of the aggregators. Do not forget to hit those share and subscribes and all that stuff to trick the algorithms to let other people come and hang out with us also. Adam and Dustin, been a pleasure hanging out with y'all this week. Really enjoyed it.
Always a good time. Enjoy your tournaments this week. There are obviously a lot of them. Good luck.
Just roll sixes.
Roll sixes.
See y'all, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.